What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Waterboy Podcast. Today it is episode number 53. Big episode today. Oh my God. And Patrick Mahomes just got picked off on Sunday Night Football. Big episode today. A lot of things happened last week in college football. Upset Central. So many things happened. We learned a lot about a lot of teams this week in college football. And of course, NFL today. Crazy stuff. Everett, early morning for you. I know you're tired right now. It's late for you all recording this. You've been up for a while. You had the London morning game. And when I woke up way after you, because I didn't watch that game, thank God I didn't. But I saw you tweeting 8:30 is not an ideal start time for a football game. And you know what? I agree with you. I think 8:30 is an egregiously early time. The only thing is I'm well equipped to 8:30 or early start times because living on the West Coast, Ohio State, a lot of their games start at 9 a.m. for me. So that is not ideal, but I do it. And I do it with love. And you know what? It's a tough experience, but I hope by at least 9:15 a.m. you are awake. I'm not sure how the game was going at that time, but
I was most certainly awake and very much enraged at the Vikings offense.
Okay,
and
there we go. I mean, I'll be honest. Nothing wakes me up more than Ohio State giving up an opening touchdown on defense. Like that gets me up.
Nothing gets your blood flowing like your team sucking in the morning.
Yeah, no, that gets me alive. But yeah, early game for you. 9 games at 10 a.m. today. My Chargers were playing at 10 also. When I woke up at maybe 9:58 this morning. I thought we were playing at 1. Check it. I'm like, oh shit. Kickoff is in
20 minutes.
90 seconds. Like, god damn. Gotta get ready. So that caught me off guard. Good thing though. Easy start to the Chargers game. Rough ending. But we'll get into the NFL later. We're gonna start off with college football today. Yeah, we were just talking about a little bit of Minnesota. I'm going to do the college football recap. Actually, we're just going to do this right now. So we're going to do this right now so then we can start talking college football. Okay. That makes sense.
College football recap.
Yeah, we're going to hit right now. The week, it is week 6. Last week was week 5. We're on to week 6.
The recap is for week 5.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Okay.
Ready?
All right.
On your marks. Get set. Go.
Georgia barely got by Missouri over the weekend. Clearly no fuck.
Go.
Obviously no clear-cut number 1 team in college football anymore after Georgia barely got by Missouri. I guess the Oklahoma defensive problems didn't get fixed with Brent Venables because Lincoln Riley's little brother dismantled that OU defense over the weekend. Whoever ranked Kentucky in the top 10 initially has a broken thinking process, just like Will Levis's finger, because Ole Miss's front 7 bullied that Kentucky run game harder than the Sig Kai boys did to the boys again. Boys in SEE in the stands. But the injuries don't stop there. Bryce Young hurt his shoulder against Arkansas. But if Alabama's backup quarterback learns how to throw, they'll be just fine because Jalen Milroe looks like the second coming of Cam Newton when he's running with the ball. All right. That might be bad. I may have to redo that, but I'm going to record that later. I'm not going to do that right now. All right. Hopefully that's good. You guys get to see me fuck up. That's fun for you. Okay. College football talk now. Georgia, Alabama, Ohio State, number 1 team in the country debate. This is kind of this is what was on top of my head throughout the whole weekend. Ohio State, Georgia were playing at the same time. I had Ohio State and Bama playing at the same time. Had both of those pulled up while I was watching. And yeah, like I said in the recap, there's no clear-cut number 1 team anymore.
You can't be the number 1 team in the nation and be losing for 4 quarters to Missouri.
Yeah, and you cannot only have 6 points at halftime against Missouri and
to be fair. Also, by the way, I saw this clip after the fact. I think it was about 5 minutes left. It was when on the run play for Georgia,
Leonard Fournette just scored his first touchdown of the season. But go on.
He promised Tubbs. It was either on the run play on the goal line, like on the 1, either for Georgia to take the lead or to tie it. And there was a blatant false start on Georgia that the refs just didn't
call. Oh,
back.
yeah, it was a 4th and 1. They ran that little sweep play. I'll be honest, like in the back of my head, if Georgia like has to get cute and run a sweep play on 4th and 1, that just tells me they're not confident in their O-line, and like the O-line did not look great.
So let me ask you. Missouri was getting the backfield. Let me ask you this question. As an Ohio State fan, as somebody whose team prospectively is the number 1 team in the nation, because like we said, there's no clear cut. Okay. Are you now confident in your team's ability to dismantle Georgia in the playoffs?
Now, I'm not saying dismantle Georgia, but over the past 2 weeks, my hopes of winning the Natty have gone up so much, specifically in the past 2 weeks. If you ask me before the Wisconsin game, after they played Toledo, after that game, I wouldn't have said like, oh yeah, they're going to win. I definitely still thought they had a chance going into the season, thought they had a chance. But right now, like I'd say I thought they went from, let's say 10% to right now, like 25, 30 of like realistic shots.
Okay.
Like, and
so here's my part B part to that question. Okay. Obviously with the 4 teams going into the playoffs, if Ohio State is on the opposite side of the bracket from Georgia, do you think Georgia's getting through the first round?
Probably.
But if they're playing USC, do you think Georgia's beating USC?
Yeah, easy. Okay. Georgia, Alabama, Ohio State is so up here, and the gap is so large. But like among those 3 teams,
I mean, dude, I think Missouri just almost handed the number 1 Georgia their first loss of the season. I'm not going to be that confident in saying that right now.
No, I'm aware, but I still think though, like the reason why Georgia lost is because, or I think they lost in my head. The reason why Georgia didn't look good is because they couldn't really run the ball well. Stetson is just Stetson. All right. So, I mean, we kind of know what we were going to get, and that's what you get, just a game manager. But, like, they weren't really running the ball effectively. That O-line wasn't really getting a push. And the thing is, they will get a push against USC. Like Missouri's front 7 is way better. Like, I know Missouri's not great, but like they actually have like dudes up front at least. Like USC just doesn't have that.
I would just think
like USC's offense. The only thing is like USC. Like I wasn't gonna get into USC today, but it's kind of looks like Oklahoma 2.0 with what's going on right now. Their defense is atrocious, so bad. I think they rank like 120th in FBS.
Quick side note. By the way,
I think they give up like 5 yards.
This is on the top of my head. What do you think Lincoln Riley would have done if he had the Drake London, Amon-Ra, St. Brown, Michael Pittman wide receiver?
He just didn't really have a quarterback.
But I'm saying if Lincoln Riley had that wide receiver core right now on this USC team,
I'm not even sure if that would really be crazy. Like their receivers are really good. Like right now, like the polarizing like downfall of that team is they can't stop the run. They can run the ball pretty well. Like the O line, it's up and down. Like I'd say it's pretty good. It's just the run defense and like the defense just in general. Like they just get gashed. Like it's nothing. And so that's my fear. Like against Georgia, let's say Caleb Williams, and also keep in mind, if I'm concerned a little about USC's run game against Pac-12 opponents, it's gonna be very tough against Georgia. Like this is what I'm saying, Everett. Like USC Georgia, oh my God, it would not be close if they played next week. We'll see how USC improves, but I think there's a big gap between Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, and the rest of the country. Like a big gap, and it's all about the front 7. That's what I'm really looking at.
The game is won and lost in the trenches. However, I understand Missouri's in the SEC, but they're not a top team in the SEC. It should not have been that close.
I agree with you.
It's just you can see like if they can do damage. I'm gonna be honest though, like Georgia, I just think
Georgia is like the first. Yes, they haven't looked good the last 2 weeks, but I feel like it could be a little bit of a case of riding really high after their first 3 weeks. Like it's
if somehow Georgia and Bama face in the first round, Bama's running through them.
Well, they would probably play in the SEC. Well, I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure about that.
I guess Bryce Young's hurt right now too.
So okay, there's a lot of things. A lot of things add up here. And so okay, let's talk about Bama. Okay, we'll get back to Georgia in a second. Let's talk about Bama. So when I saw the Bryce Young, I didn't see exactly earlier, but it looks like he was trying to extend a play. He was trying to extend. He like landed on his shoulder when he fell.
He was extending his arm out to try and cross the marker to get a first down. Ran out, like went on the ground, kind of rolled up on his shoulder. It didn't look like it's anything severe. Maybe.
Yeah. A lot of people were pointing like maybe could have hurt it a little bit there, and then like later that drive or later in the game, not entirely sure, but he throws and you see him like immediately point to sideline, like I need help. Like I'm not coming back, and he was pointing off like put me in the 10. Like what the fuck, my shoulder's fucked. And so when I saw that, when I saw that, I immediately was like, what the hell? Like whenever you see a non-contact injury, you're immediately like, oh god, that looks horrible. And then I read a tweet saying like some reporter was like alluding to like, hey, Bryce Young might be really bad. They're saying like his parents came down from the stands and shit, which I mean, to be honest, any parent would come down the stands if they saw their kid who's a potential number 1 draft pick in the NFL. You probably would cut, like, even if it was a little injury, you'd still be going down. Anyway, regardless, I was just immediately like, that just didn't look good. Like, and right now, in my opinion, Alabama's going through their toughest stretch in the season. Arkansas, A&M, and then Tennessee. So like this stretch, they would have to beat 3 ranked teams in a row. And I think I think I read something saying like Nick Saban has never had to face 3 straight ranked opponents, with 2 of them being road games, like in his SEC career until this season. And so if Bryce Young's potentially like Texas A&M, like, I mean, they lost over the weekend too. So I mean, like, I still think Bama could beat A&M with Jalen Milroe, because Texas A&M literally can't pass. But the Tennessee game could be interesting, you know. And I'll be honest, even if Jalen Milroe is starting, I'm still would think Bama would probably win the game. But like, that obviously throws things in the air, and that game's at Tennessee too. So a lot of things up for debate there. But this is what I heard though, Everett. I heard it's not that serious of an injury, and that he's like separated his shoulder before, and it hasn't been like that big of a problem, and that he's like done it in the past. I think Nick Saban said that he's week to week, and it's not that big of a deal.
It looked like, you know, as the medical professional that I am, I am the medical expert. I am the medical expert on our show.
The physician over here at Waterboy Podcast.
You know, Waterboy Analytics. It's going to be a short-term injury. It's probably a sprain, if not like.
Wait, what are you talking about? What do you mean? How do you know
it's a shoulder injury.
But how do you know? What do you mean you're talking? Okay, like I thought you were about to joke, but you actually are about to diagnose this. Holy shit.
No, going through.
I thought you were gonna joke around, like, yeah, we're thinking about like a 3-week, like maybe give him like a lung injection, you know, just for safety.
Well, no, first they have to hire the doctors off.
Oh, like I thought you were about to mess. Oh, you're being serious. Go. All right, break us down. Tell us his timetable of return. We'll check back to this and see if you're right.
I mean, we prophesize on this show. All right, so his injury when he went out, like, it was originally rolled up on the shoulder, and it was just kind of a non-contact, contact on the ground. Obviously, he didn't play the rest of the game, but I think that was more precautionary. So I would say he might not play next week because it's A&M, and I don't feel like they fear A&M that much. But I would expect him to probably be back the week after that.
That is your injury report with Dr. Everett, ladies and gentlemen. You just got to hear Bryce Young will be back for the Tennessee game, 100% guaranteed. You just heard it here. But okay, Ohio State, Bama, Georgia. This is how I just look at the 3 teams. Okay, I'd say Georgia and Alabama just going in the season, and I'll just give them the benefit of the doubt because it's Georgia and Bama. They're just going to have a better front 7 and defense than Ohio State. That's just going to happen. Like, that's just going to be the case. By the time they get to the end of the year, they will just have a nastier and meaner defense. They just have more recruits and players. Like, it's just simple as that. Like, you just can't deny it. But I think when you compare those three teams on offense, let's talk passing the ball first. Obviously, Ohio State has a CJ Stroud and their receiving core. Bama has a Bryce Young, but they don't have the Ohio State receiving core. And Georgia, they have the tight end room with the greatest tight end room ever, but they don't have the quarterback. Okay. Ohio State has all those check boxes filled. You get what I mean? When it comes to the run game, going in the season, I didn't think Ohio State would have it, but their run game might be the best run game they've had in like years. Their O-line specifically is just mauling dudes. And this guy, Mayan Williams, Everett, oh my God. Trevion Henderson, I thought he was going to be the star. I was talking about him all offseason. Trevion's the backup running back, okay? Mayan Williams is the fucking starter. This guy is everything I want in a running back.
Is he transfer or is he freshman?
He's a junior. He's been there for a while. Yeah. But it's just the thing, in my opinion, Ohio State has significantly improved in their line play. The gap between Ohio State, Bama, we look back to the 2020 national championship game. The gap, Alabama was also exposing Ohio State's linebackers trying to cover receivers. That was horrible. But they were also just manhandling Ohio State up front on both sides. And so, that was the overarching concern for me. Yes, I understand Tough Borland should not have been covering the Heisman Trophy winner. Probably not a good idea for success. But Ohio State has stepped up in the line play this year. And so that's why I think they got a shot. They do have a shot this year. And the Bryce Young injury, I'm going to assume it's not serious. But if this is a nagging injury and this is nagging him the whole season, I
think it's on his non-throwing shoulder.
No, it's his throwing arm.
Oh, it is his throwing shoulder.
If it was the non-throwing arm, I don't think they would give a shit. I think he'd definitely be playing. I think he'd 100% be playing. I don't think it'd even come up if it was the non-throwing shoulder. But I was gonna have a long Ohio State union, but we've been talking a while, so I'm gonna just say a quick couple things. Ryan Day versus Greg Schiano in a mud brawl. Who says no at the 50-yard line after the game? I wanted it. I know probably would have been the most viewers Big Ten networks gotten since the last time Ohio State played Rutgers the year before. But that, the punt, the whole punt situation was just amazing. So Everett, I'm not sure if you were quite aware of what was going on throughout the course of the game and the history between Greg Schiano and Rutgers and Ohio State, but Greg Schiano used to be the defensive coordinator at Ohio State under Urban Meyer. And then when Ryan Day took over in 2019, he fired Greg Schiano and got a new defensive coordinator. So that's why there's a little bit of beef, a little bit of animosity going into it from that perspective. And this is another thing. Greg Schiano, I think Greg Schiano understands how good Ohio State is. He coached there. I think he has a lot of respect for the program. And I think he understands to beat Ohio State, you need to get a little cute and you kind of need to have some BS go your way if you're that outmatched talent-wise. So how do you do that? You got to run some trick plays. You got to onside kick. You got to run some fake punts. You got to get lucky with some fumbles. That's how you're going to win to beat Ohio State. If you're Rutgers. And so Greg Schiano, Rutgers gets the ball to start the game. They go 3 and out. They punt. Ohio State muff punt. Rutgers scores. So it's 7-0 Rutgers to start the game. What does Rutgers do immediately after? Onside kick immediately after. Everyone in the fucking stadium knew it was going to be an onside kick, okay? I literally, before the game, I texted my dad. I go, can't wait to see Schiano pull some shit out of his ass today. I'm curious to see what he has dialed up today because it's going to happen every year. And then the onside kick happens, of course. And then next Rutgers drive, they're running trick play, reverses. I swear, they did some illegal shit. They did a forward handoff, and then they handed off to the running back, and then the running back threw it. I swear that's not fucking legal, but whatever. Rutgers can have that. I guess I don't know my rules if that's legal, but I swear a forward handoff, I don't care if it's behind the line of scrimmage. That I swear you can't pass that. I don't know. That might just be
I wouldn't be able to tell you.
But anyway, like that bullshit's gonna happen, okay? And so late in the game, Ohio State's up 49-10, and Rutgers runs a full punt block on the side where Ohio State, every Aussie punter, they roll out to their right or left, depending on which
punter, they kick with,
but they roll out to their kicking side and then they boot it. So Ohio State's punter is rolling out to his right to boot it, and there's a full collapse defense on the punt block. So they're all coming in, collapsing. So when the punter's rolling out, he just looks up and notices nobody in front of him. And it was a 4th and 2, only 2 yards to gain. So the punter's like, fuck it, I'm just going to take off and get the first. There's no one there. I'm just going to take it. So he just ran, picked up like 15 yards, and then he got hit out of bounds, late hit. And like, I'll be honest, I'm not really mad about like the late hit. Like I'm not so mad about that. Yeah, like you can, whenever a punter's running, like you can kind of expect a late hit just to happen anyway. Like everyone wants a fucking cheap shot on the punter. Who doesn't? But what pissed me off was Schiano sprinting over immediately and like cussing out Ryan Day, getting in his face. And a lot of people were saying like Schiano was just mad, like Ryan Day called a fake punt. Ryan Day didn't call a fake fucking punt. Okay, the punter saw you run a fucking block punt defense with no contain to the side where the punters run. What did you expect him to do, Schiano? And I guarantee you, if they're in a meeting room right now, Schiano, they might be telling them like, Ohio State's a bunch of scumbags for running this fake punt on you. But in the coach's room, they're looking at each other like, God damn it, that was a fucking smart play by that punter. And they know it, and they know it too. Like, if Rutgers is going to do their cute shit all game, don't be a fucking bitch and start pouting when it comes back to bite you in the ass. That's what you get, all right? If you're going to play with fire, expect to get fire back in your ass, all right? Also, that's my Ohio State of the Union.
we're playing the game to win the game. If you're expecting a punter to boot it when it's a clear ability to get a first down to also cement your team in to get them yards to win, it's not like we're playing like recess football and we have to give each side like a chance to play, or otherwise like the teacher's gonna get mad.
Big 10 football, and also Ohio State was up 39 points at the time. Ohio State was a 41-point favorite. So I mean, Ohio State didn't end up covering, but Jesse Mirko was aware of the spread and he was looking out for the bettors. Like that's why, in my opinion, the shoe popped so hard when he got the first, because every bettor was like, oh my god, we might cover.
That back door.
But yeah, like other than that, I just want to say one shout out to of course Mayan Williams. He had 5 touchdowns, tied a school record for rushing touchdowns in a game. And then Tommy Eichenberg and Steel Chambers. Al Washington, the ex Ohio State linebacker coach, he should be put in prison for what he did to the Ohio State linebacker room. Now that him Knowles, not Jim Knowles, him Knowles has control of the linebacker room, these guys look like they're fucking NFL caliber linebackers. So yeah, that's the Ohio State of the Union. All right.
Just with college football too, by the way, the only other thing that I wanted to bring up was TCU and Kansas. The TCU and Kansas game this week is going to be college game day. It's the battle of undefeated. I also think it's the first time Kansas has been on college or has been ranked since 2009.
Probably. Kansas sucks at football. And you know, we're on the subject that I didn't really get this time. TCU and Oklahoma.
Oklahoma's not looking too hot right now. I don't know what K-State did to them, but they broke them.
Oh, broke them emotionally, physically.
Adrian Martinez. Also, shout out just real quick. All I just want to say, Tulane beat K-State. K-State beat Oklahoma.
So by the transitive property, Tulane's better than Oklahoma.
Also by the transitive property, that means Southern Miss is
better than Oklahoma. Better than Oklahoma. Yeah, better than Oklahoma.
There you go, Brett Favre. There you go, Brett Favre.
Yeah. Where the money's we're not going to talk about Brett Favre, that fucking money-stealing bitch. But yeah, Minnesota gone Bears at home. Wisconsin gone Bears at home. A lot of upsets. Fun weekend at college football.
I think it was rankings 15-21. All of them lost besides BYU and I don't know. Maybe it was K-State. I think K-State was in there.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, okay. I think we're gonna transition into the NFL here. But before we do, I gotta piss. But you know what? I think this gives you a nice opportunity to talk about the morning London, Minnesota game. And it makes sense because I wasn't there and awake to watch the game. So yeah, I don't really have much input on it anyway. So Everett, break us down what I thought was going to be a London, and it turned out being the Lover this morning. But yeah, break down the soccer game that happened.
First and foremost, Grant might have like the smallest bladder known to mankind. Like, I swear to God, every single time we record, he finds a way. He doesn't even drink water half the time. He just finds a way to have to use the bathroom. So shout out to that toilet. But no, so the Vikings, we played 8:30 a.m. this morning. Nice, bright and early wake up time for me. I'm not used to that. I normally get the 12 o'clock games here Central Time, but yeah, I can't say that I enjoyed waking up and just my entire morning being filled with anxiety, anger, sadness, happiness, which then turned into just sorrow and embarrassment and disappointment. But either way, a win's a win. I'd rather take an ugly win over a beautiful loss any day of the week. It's just the fact that the Vikings almost lost to the Saints when they didn't have their starting quarterback, their starting receiver, or their starting running back. So that's a little concerning. But I mean, it's kind of the way that the Vikings have gotten their at least their last two wins between the Lions and the Saints. I don't know whatever happened to the Packers week one. I know the Packers also didn't have Bakhtiari. They didn't have Lazard. No, they didn't have Elkin Jenkins. I don't know. I think Lazard was not playing either, but like so the Vikings 3 wins have all kind of come against teams that were a little hobbled or disadvantaged. But still, with that said, whatever the Vikings defense was doing week one versus the Packers, need to start doing that again. Vikings offense was doing against the Packers, really need to start doing that again. I think that the Vikings need to utilize playing Jefferson out of the backfield more often, because whenever they did that, especially today when they were playing against the Saints, whenever the Vikings played Jefferson out of the backfield, it was always linebacker coverage. It was always something like that, and they would instantly be able to get a first down conversion with Jefferson. Like, he would always be open. But the defense, I don't know if Ed Donatel, the defensive coordinator, is going to be coaching this team for much longer. I'm not going to lie. Still shell coverage.
Axe him.
Still shell coverage. Zone coverage.
Which a little bit better of zone.
That's the problem. I don't know.
Oh, Everett. So let's be less aggressive.
It was more like
calling him out for running.
It was more like coverage. It was like cover 4. It was cover 4 basically. Okay. Tampa 2 cover 4. But it's a mix of he plays Tampa 2 and then cover 4 cover 2.
I thought you said Tampa 2 cover 4. I was about to say,
no,
that's not a thing.
That doesn't exist.
Okay. Yeah. But Vikings, a lot of field goals in this game.
A lot of field goals. They
just not really getting it done in the red zone.
Well, I think they were just trying to do their best soccer impression for all the fans in London.
Yeah, they were appealing to the crowd, of course.
Right.
But I'm just a little confused why it looks like a soccer match.
So here was that bothered me the most.
With a double doink.
Yeah, here's the thing that bothered me the most is, and I said this, the Vikings were playing against a team that didn't have their starting quarterback, receiver, or running back, and they still barely won. Like, a win's a win, and I will take it happily, but it shouldn't have been that close, especially when they had.
It is in London. There's a lot of random shit. That's
4 drives in the red zone that ended all in field goals. They had a blocked, not a block. They had a strip sack. They had a fumble recovery off of a punt. They stripped the ball out of whatever the punt returner is for the Saints. We had a fake punt conversion, and there was one other thing, and all of those ended in field goals. So it's just a little bit annoying. And also, prayers up for Lewis Seen. I don't know if you saw the video. I do not suggest that you go and watch it, but his ankle on a punt on kickoff return, his normal angle is like this. His ankle went like this. So not not a good look. He's getting surgery right now on his ankle. He's done for the year.
Well, that is a bummer. You hate to see that. A lot of injuries this weekend.
Vikings play the Bears next week, and with that outlook, it's very promising. The Bears suck. The Bears managed to lose to a team that was playing without their quarterbacks for an entire half. The Giants didn't have either of their starting quarterbacks for an entire half. The Bears managed to lose.
Well, the Bears also, it's just like the passing offense non-existent. Guess I'll just not do anything to fix that. Let's not talk about the Bears Giants though. Who cares about that one? That one's not cool. Okay. One thing that,
by the way, I just want to shout this out real quick while we're just talking about the Bears. Okay, 1 second. It's a rumor, but it is credited to this rumor. Many people believe that when Andy Reid retires, after this year in the next couple of years, his successor will be former Bears head coach Matt Nagy.
Now that would be interesting.
May you rest in peace, Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, that could be a fun one. Okay. All right. Eagles, Jaguars. This is one game that I kept my eye on in the morning. I was following along. I wanted to see, you know what? Is T-Law really about it? Or are the Eagles really about to pummel them? And the way that game started, Cisco gets a pick 6 early on. Then the Jaguars go down, score another touchdown. They go up 14-0. And I think we learned a lot about the Eagles. I know. I still think people are not going to give Jacksonville any credit, even though I think they're a good team. But that resilience to come back down 14-0, they scored 29 straight points.
I know they scored 29 straight points after that, but for the fact that Jacksonville made the game so close and almost was able to knock off now the consensus number 1 team in the NFL because they're the only undefeated team left. I have massive respect for the Jaguars, for Doug Peterson, for Trevor Lawrence.
I think Jacksonville's a good football team, but I don't think anyone's really going to give them much credit just off the name.
I mean, hey, maybe it's going to be 2017 all over again. Who knows?
Yeah. I mean, well, I'm not sure if it's going to be Saxonville again, but
no, not Saxonville, but they do have a capable quarterback this time. I love Blake Bortles, but he's not a capable quarterback.
Blake Bortles, the GOAT. Yeah, that game was a little interesting to me. Okay. And then also in that early slated game, we have to talk about it. Seahawks-Lions, that game was just nuts. 48-45. We had a scoregami, Everett. You know what scoregami is, right? Mm-hmm. Yep. So for I think it's first scoregami of the year, 48-45, and I think the Lions scored 22 points in the fourth, almost making their comeback. They almost capped off a comeback, but they didn't. DK Metcalf instead ended up crapping his pants, leaving the game, and he also admitted on Twitter, the shuffle to the bathroom wouldn't have made it off the shuffle. He's like, I needed the cart. So at least respect to DK for admitting he had to shit his pants, unlike Lamar, who has never publicly admitted to it.
He Paul Pierced it.
Yeah, no, actually, he did pull a Paul Pierce, quite literally. But
what do you think is a more baller style to have to go and do that? A wheelchair or the golf cart?
I think the golf cart's way more sick. The wheelchair is kind of pathetic. And also, I think about just the difference between being in an NFL stadium and an NBA stadium. In an NBA stadium, it feels a little more compact and a little more close. You feel a little more closer to the court and stuff. So when you see him getting wheelchaired off and he shit his pants, you're kind of a little more up close to it. But I feel like at a football game, when you see him getting stretchered off, you don't really know, you're is he going off to go take a shit right now? Or did he just need to retape his ankle or something? What's the thing here? So I think there's just a little factor there. But I one thing I was just thinking about the game itself. Are the Lions gonna have a top 5 offense and just the worst defense in the NFL, and that's how every game's gonna go?
By the way, you know what team?
Every game's a shootout with the Lions.
You know what must-watch TV. You know what team had that exact situation and missed the playoffs? Your team, the Chargers. Best offense in the NFL,
and
worst defense. Nope,
and worst special teams.
Oh, his worst set special teams?
Best offense, number one defense, and they didn't make the playoffs because their special teams was so bad.
There's your Lions.
Although not the same because it's their offense is great, their defense sucks. So a little different.
Their defense isn't. Here's the thing, though. Their defense.
No, it sucks. They get 48 points to the Seahawks. There's no excuses after that one. Geno Smith almost dropped a 50 burger on you at home. No, you can't tell me you have a good defense after that.
Man, they have Okuda.
That's it. That boy Hutch is ass. Oh my god. Nothing. I mean, I fucking knew it was gonna happen. But whatever.
Fraudulent 3 sacks on the year.
Whatever. Oh, Hutch is so good. Yeah. I mean, I saw some clips of him just getting chipped off of his feet by running backs.
He apparently doesn't know how to.
Tight ends are manhandling him.
Tight ends apparently are a kryptonite.
Shit. I remember when Ohio State's DNs couldn't get by tight ends. Oh wait, that never happened. But okay, yeah.
Tight end shits his pants.
Yeah, a lot of issues there. Okay, and then last really big game ever. Bills Ravens. I think the Ravens. What was it? 17-3 at one point.
20-3.
It was 20-3. So it's another week. It's another big lead choke by the Baltimore Ravens.
Yep.
What can I say?
Marcus Peters looks like he was about to throw hands with John Harbaugh.
And it's like when you think about the way the Ravens are constructed, like that shouldn't make sense because the run game's their strength. So if they have a lead, they should be able to just run the clock out and just kill the game. But they haven't been doing that. And also, 2 of those losses have come to like some of the best offenses you could go against in the NFL, in the Bills and the Dolphins. But
it's also on their defense for choking it that badly. Like even if your offense isn't converting, right? Like you are up by 3 scores. Like your defense should be able to handle a 3-score lead.
Yeah, and also, I mean, I don't know like exactly like what was going on, the play calling and shit, but I mean, charges were going on. I was really locked in that game. At the end, it got fucking. We're about to get into that, but
also,
I feel like if you have a 3-touchdown lead, the way you should be calling plays on defense, I mean, you're kind of daring them to run, let them run clock, kind of sit back in zone. But I mean, I don't know. I guess Josh Allen can just pick you apart.
I mean,
Chargers today. We're about to get into that.
You know what?
What happened?
Ken Dorsey's headset was praising the Lord today. It wasn't getting.
Yeah, I mean, I bet he had a very interesting halftime speech to pump the boys off. Ken Dorsey, hothead. God, he's just so mad that he lost that 2001 championship against Ohio State in the Natty. Still must be pissed about that.
Life.
But like just so many things about that game that I was just if you're a Baltimore Ravens fan right now, you just got to be thinking to yourself, like, what the hell's up with this defense? Like, Lamar, I think he was leading the league in passing touchdowns at one point. Not sure if he still does, but
I don't know if he was if he is after today, but he was going into this week.
It's just weird. It's a weird state in Baltimore. Are they frauds? Or like, are we close to putting that label on them?
What is going on in Baltimore?
I'm not ready to say they're frauds yet. I'm kind of surprised they're 2-2 right now.
Yeah.
They should be 4-0. One could say.
Effectively, they could. Well, it would be 4-0, right?
Yeah, right. They should be 4-0 if they were to hold on to those leads against Dolphins and now the Bills. Tough start. Not a start you like to see. Not at all.
Yeah, no, I don't know what they got to do over there, but clearly there's something on the defense. The offense is working perfectly.
Yeah, I'd say except like when they need to ice the game out and they can't score
that's
like at the end. But get the points even at initially.
But also Lamar has never been known to be able to score at the end of a game or being clutch. You've seen him play in the playoffs.
No, I know, but last year or 2 years ago, he kind of broke that for me when he came back against the Chiefs. Like he kind of and like the Ravens had some comeback wins, and I was kind of like, oh, is Lamar breaking the stigma? But now it's kind of opposite where they can't hold on to a big lead. It's very weird, but hey, it's the NFL. And speaking of not being able to really hold in the big leads, let's talk about my Chargers. So, week 1 Raiders, they choke that lead and make the game close at the end. And then it happens again against the Texans today. So Chargers were up like 27-7 at halftime, and they barely pull off the win, like 34-23 or some shit, 34-24.
Was JC playing today?
Yeah, JC Jack's playing. No Bosa. Like the injuries, it's so random at this point. I don't even know what the fuck's going on with the team. But I like the offense was clicking early. No problems with that, other than their non-existent run game. And Josh Kelly, when he runs, it works. And like when they ran inside the tackles, it worked. But for some reason, on 1st and 10, we have to run a stretch every single time. And it's always 2nd and 11, 2nd and 10, 2nd and 9. And what do? Either another stretch or just throw to fucking Mike Williams and it's a 1st down. Like it should be pretty simple, but clearly it's not. And it's just so funny. Like Herbert, it's like Joe Lombardi, the offense coordinator, is working against Herbert. Like Herbert is so good and he's just not getting help. And also, I was very encouraged that Herbert didn't look like hurt. He didn't look like he was grimacing or anything. He looked healthy. And so that was a positive. You know, we'll take that.
He looked healthy. Still not like the normal Herbert.
Like week 1 Herbert, man was the fucking Avatar, the Last Airbender out there. Like I don't know what I was watching. But definitely I could tell he's definitely a little more concerned, and he's definitely a little more hesitant. He's keeping back in mind, like, hey, protect yourself. But that was my big concern. It's just the end of game. They get these large leads, and they just they can't slam the door on defense. Fucking Damian Pierce was gashing the defense all day. Not something you want to see. Even though I had Damian Pierce in fantasy in another league, still, I didn't. When he had scored a 75-yard touchdown to like start the 3rd quarter, I'm sitting here just like, is this for real, guys? Like, can we not have a big win in this league? Like everything has to be close. Everything has to be close. Charger's gonna charge. Charger's gonna charge her.
Like I said for the Vikings, I'd rather have an ugly win than a beautiful loss.
Okay. Well, I saw a tweet too. I was a little confused. Describe to me, what could a beautiful loss be?
Meaning like you got a shootout. Like we're talking Rams, Chiefs, like 2019 shootout in Mexico. Like it's
but going. That's like a heartbreak. I don't think there's ever such thing as a beautiful loss.
By beautiful loss, I just mean like your team played like as well as it physically could. Like it's a figure of speech.
I know. I was just a little interested by that one. I've never heard of that one before.
It's just like saying more or less. Like I'd rather win like a gross game like that than either get blown out or lose.
Well, barely. I think everyone would rather win than lose
by barely losing, or like somebody walks you off or something.
Yes, like, Everett. I would rather barely win than barely lose or get blown out 100%.
Yeah.
Any day.
No, I'm aware. Thanks for the commentary. Fucking ass.
I mean, that's fucking hilarious. Now that I really think about it, that was the greatest tweet you ever said. Ever. That was the greatest tweet you ever put out.
It's my cause. That's what I'm here for.
I mean, all right. You kind of get what you said there. I'd rather win than lose.
Same. Yeah. Same, bro. It's called making things elegant.
Oh my god, I need to put that on TikTok. That's fucking hilarious. That's so funny. Okay. All right.
I got one last game I want to talk about real quick, and then I got a little segment for you. All right.
Okay.
Packers and Patriots. I don't know. Did you watch any of this game?
Yeah. So caught the end of this game. Oh, we didn't even talk about the later slate games. Okay, Patriots, Packers, Patriots. Holy shit. Okay, Bailey Zappy. Like in the back of my head, I thought when they punched the ball, and yes, the Packers down at the one, I thought in the back of my head, is this too much time for Bailey Zappy? Is he about to go down?
I'm not gonna lie. When he first went in, I was sitting there, and I know that like I know that it's highly unlikely, but I was sitting there, I'm like, holy fuck! What if Bill Belichick just did it again? What if Bailey Zappy is Tom Brady? Like, what the fuck?
Could you imagine how funny that would be? Oh my god, that'd be hilarious.
Came out like what if Bailey's, because
you guys thought it was Mac Jones? Nope, Bailey Zappy's the guy.
The best thing, him and Mac Jones look like twins. What if, like,
I'll be honest, I actually do not know a picture of
what if the chosen one wasn't Mac Jones and it was Bailey Zappy? Like, what if for the rest of the season, like Mac Jones doesn't get his fucking job back? It's Bailey Zappy season. Like, we literally have Tom Brady 2.0, baby goat.
He does look pretty similar to Mac Jones. He looks a little more farm boy. I mean, Bailey Zappy, yeah, probably. I mean,
but like a name like Bailey Zapp. Like, I know Mac Jones, Tom Brady are both like very like what the fuck kind of, like, this is not the greatest player of all time kind of names, but like Bailey Zappy. Don't tell me that does not sound like a GOAT name right there.
You definitely have to put that out there for some of the best names that you can have in college football, 100%.
That is a Hall of Famer potential name right there.
Yeah, I really like the Bailey Zappy Brandon name, but in this game, what I was kind of thinking, it kind of seemed like the Patriots were like moving the ball like the easiest they have. Like when Brian Hoyer was in, like he kind of was like ripping it a little bit.
He was moving it, yeah.
Like they were just moving the ball, and I got a nice little shot of Bill near the end, getting a little hot at the ref, and I see that fire in Bill still. You know, some people, I was hearing some rumors going around, this might be last year for Bill. He might be on his way out. But I think he still has that fire, and I think Bailey Zappy might have lit that in it.
I think it might have been the Zap attack.
I think, like, in the back of his head, like, they, many ways, should have won that game. Bill, after that game, obviously not happy that they lost, but you got a team that rallies around their coach over there in New England.
You think he thinks he's like, damn, I'm on to something right now. Like, I'm cooking something right now in the quarterback room. I might be onto something.
Yeah, I think he's not quite the quarterback whisperer, but Bill is onto something with Bailey Zappy right now, and I just want to keep that in the back of my mind as the season progresses. When Mac Jones comes back, is he going to be the starter?
Are we having another Drew Bledsoe situation?
Okay, shit. While we're on the topic of quarterbacks, Kenny Pickett made his NFL debut today, and in his first pass attempt, threw a pick. Is it Kenny only throws Pickett? What is the nickname that we could play here? Because Kenny Pickett is, now that I think about it, is a horrible fucking name to have for a quarterback. If you don't do well, the memes are going to be horrible for him if he doesn't, like, if it goes bad. Oh my God, that you're just begging to get humiliated with that last name.
I think he would have to be Kenny only throws Pickett's.
Yeah, Kenny. I like that way better. Kenny only throws Pickett's. That I guess that's a potential name, but Steelers, they got a lead in this game. Very funny. Kenny Pickett throws a pick, and then the Steelers get a pick six to take the lead. Like, that's so Steelers.
Nobody's going to be dumping on Zach Wilson for this game, but I will. Zach Wilson, I mean, like, the first drive, obviously they go down.
Get a target today? Probably not.
Garrett got like 3. It was all Elijah Moore. Like, okay. They go down, they do the Philly special and throw a touchdown pass to Zach Wilson. I'm like, all right, like, not a bad start. After that, though, Zach Wilson looking very mid, looking like pinnacle Zach Wilson form. I just, like, I know they won, But something about me just feels like that team it works smoother when
Joe Wilson, 18 for 36, 250 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 picks.
Like, it just works better with Joe Flacco. And, like, yeah, I'm biased because I have Garrett Wilson on all of my fantasy teams, but
greatest thing to happen. Oh, my God. Kenny Pickett threw 3 picks today.
Yeah, welcome to the NFL, Kenny.
Oh, God.
Kenny only throws Pickets. Kenny only throws Pickets.
He went 10 for 13 with his 3 incompletions, all being interceptions. He has
never thrown an incompletion.
Kenny Pickett has not had a ball touch the ground in the NFL in his career yet. Every single ball has been caught that he's thrown in the NFL. You can't say that for many quarterbacks to start their NFL career. Has there ever been a quarterback where every single one of his passes was caught with at least 10 attempts in their NFL debut? Has there ever been a quarterback? I don't know.
Well, maybe Kenny Pickett's the first. Nathan Peterman, do we count?
Oh my God, that's fucking hilarious. Literally, no balls were dropped.
Do we count? Did Nathan Peterman? Did all 7 of his picks that first game? Did they all get caught? Were those his first 7 passes?
There were definitely some incompletions in there. 100%.
I don't know those first 10 passes.
Hey, I mean, there's some positive out of that, I guess you could say, with Kenny Pickett. But
yeah, hey.
Yeah, Mitch in the first half was atrocious. Holy shit. Mitch, 7 for 13, 84 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 sacks.
Yeah, Mike Tomlin's going to have
We love Mitch over here, but maybe not. Okay. Everett, let's do some start bench cuts now.
All right. First thing that I want to say, though, this could be clippable, this could not. I got a little Vikings fun fact here. Since Blair Walsh went wide left versus the Seattle Seahawks in 2013, the Vikings are 51-1 when leading at the start of the fourth quarter. Since Blair Walsh went wide left versus the Seahawks.
51-1 when leading in the second quarter.
51-1 when leading in the start of the fourth quarter.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, I got that egregious.
Since Blair Walsh
went
wide left versus the Seahawks.
That is absurd.
51.
I know. You said it 3 times. I heard, but that's fucking crazy.
It's a 98%, 0.98.
Do you have any comment on that?
Well, just for a team to be able to go like have that absurd of a stat, especially with like the way that these games have been going this year, like the Lions last week, the Saints this week, and just an absolute atrocity that has been the Zimmer years the last couple of years. Not only am I surprised that they're 51-1, but like that is a lethal thing, especially going in the rest of the year in the playoffs. If you're 51-1, like obviously it doesn't mean that your team is guaranteed to do that. But
I'd rather have 51-1 than 51-0.
That What?
51-0 means you're due to lose.
You're
51-1. Oh, they're a fucking wagon. Oh, good luck beating that. If it's perfect clean, you got to be worried
that means somebody's it's about to break soon. Yeah. But 51-1, that means like you're golden. Like you're gonna just keep pounding away.
Yeah, I think that's a very impressive stat. I mean, I also wonder how 51-1. I don't know how many games they would have played over that period of time, but
since 2013, since the playoffs in 2013, I think that's when.
So like 100, let's say, like 170 games or so, 180. Definitely not 180, but 170 or so.
Something like that.
Probably 30%, little under 30% rate of having the lead in the fourth quarter in the first place. We'll take that too.
Given the fact of what those teams were in the early stages of that, like
I didn't mean that in a roast.
No, I know, but that's what I'm saying is more impressive given the fact that those teams early on were pretty crap. And
no, I'm saying that's a nice little.
All right, okay. Start bench cut. Okay. I have 4 prepared for today. I don't know if you're going to think they're good or bad, so we'll just go through them. Okay.
Start, bench,
4.
cut.
Okay, all right.
Start, bench, cut. Jared Goff, Daniel Jones, Baker Mayfield.
Cut Daniel Jones immediately. Probably bench Baker, start Jared Goff. I don't know.
I don't agree with that. I think you start Jared Goff. I think you bench Daniel Jones and you cut Baker Mayfield.
Bro,
Danny Dimes sucks. He's terrible, but he does scramble for at least 75 yards, a 175-yard run per game.
I mean, at least Baker won a playoff game.
I mean, it wasn't really on Baker, though.
Dude, Danny Dimes, bro.
Danny Dimes.
Danny Dimes? Are you kidding me? I think Danny Dimes is an insta cut. I don't know.
Okay.
We'll see what people think. I think that's an insta cut.
Okay. Start, bench, cut. Cooper Rush, Nick Foles, Case Keenum.
Gotta go Big Dick Nick.
Keep in mind, Cooper Rush is now 4-0 on his career.
Just don't have the sample size. Probably gonna have to go Case Keenum 2, Cooper Rush 3. Case Keenum got bailed out by Marcus Williams and made it to an NFC Championship game. So that's something that Cooper Rush doesn't have on his resume. So yeah, Case Keenum would definitely be my bench slot.
Okay, I thought that we would be a bit different on that one, but we have the exact same. So I'm not even gonna go ahead and that's whatever. Okay. Start, bench, cut. Davis Mills, Justin Fields, Zach Wilson. They all suck. They're all absolutely trash.
This is a good one because I don't think there's any clear answer at all here.
They all suck, man.
So I'll be honest. From what I saw from Davis Mills today in this Chargers game, like it didn't look great at the beginning, but he kind of was picking up a little bit. But I mean, there's just nothing there. There's no wow factor from Davis Mills that makes you think that he would win you football games. He might not lose you them. Actually, no, he like
will lose you.
Shit. No,
he will lose
you games too. Justin Fields, I'm obviously very biased here, but I think if all teams were put into the exact same situations, Justin Fields would perform the best. So I'm gonna say Justin Fields start. I'm gonna say Zach.
You want to say?
Yeah, we're gonna go start Justin Fields, bench Zach Wilson, cut Davis Mills.
Start Justin Fields, bench Davis Mills, cut Zach Wilson. I think Justin Fields in general, mobility, even though
I'm obviously very biased from the Ohio State.
He sucks on the Bears, but I just think that
it is just the Bears.
It is the Bears, but he sucks on the Bears. But in general, just his ability to just kind of make throws when necessary, I think is better than the other two. I would take that any day of the week.
I just really think he went into arguably the worst situation in NFL history. Like Trevor Lawrence's was probably worse, but at least year 2, his franchise was helping him out.
Hey, the Bears tried. The Bears tried. Well,
did they really though?
Originally, they thought Ryan Poles thought he was, but actually, he destroyed the entire team and all of their people.
No, they didn't. But
they tried to hire a head coach that they thought would help, and clearly,
I like that though. I like that start bet. That was a good start bench cut. That one was
last start bench cut.
Okay.
Wide receiver edition.
Okay.
Michael Thomas, Devontae Adams, Stephon Diggs. All elite wide receivers.
I mean, we're going to do this in this point of the season. Start Stephon, bench Devontae, cut.
No, not this, but it's just general. Just general. I don't care what the season stats are like. Who would you want in general?
It'd probably still be that.
Stephon, Devontae, then Michael Thomas.
A lot of recency bias is playing into effect here. But yeah, Stephon, Devontae, and then Mikey T. Mikey T
that one would be more
hurt
debated
again, and that hurts me.
I thought that would be more debated. I thought that it would just be you
well,
can
this like it like
what their
if
actual standings are.
I
Now
mean, it's just like you have to talk about it right now. Like, I mean, you can't like say like all of them like in the prime of their careers, because if we were doing that, I
prime of
definitely
their
put
careers.
Michael Thomas over fucking Stephon bum-ass Diggs, but
prime of their careers. Who are you taking? Start bench cut. Michael Thomas, Devontae Adams, Stephon Diggs.
Probably, I mean, Stephon's so gone. Like, it's between Michael Thomas and Devontae. And it's just like, the thing is, like, I'm once again Ohio State biased. And so
I also
want to say Michael Thomas, but like, the reason why I want to say Michael Thomas is like Devontae Adams had an Aaron Rodgers, and Michael Thomas was with Drew Brees, who couldn't throw the ball.
I also cannot disagree more with you about having discarded Stephon Diggs.
Instacut.
If you're making the argument about Michael Thomas having Drew Brees who can't throw more than 15 yards, Stephon Diggs didn't have a fucking quarterback the entire time he was on the Vikings.
Stephon Diggs' peak right now, he has a Josh Allen Everett.
His peak was the first year he had the Bills, and like the year before that on the year before that on the Vikings.
Are you telling me he was better on the Vikings than?
No, I'm saying the first year he was on the Bills was his best year statistically. That was his peak. He's kind of hit that, and he's kind of going like this. He's starting this.
I know, but I'm saying him with Josh Allen, who could throw the ball.
That first year that he was on the Bills.
I think
that first year he was on the Bills.
I can agree with
still better than Michael Thomas.
Dude, why? Tell me your reasoning.
I mean, just in general, the catches that Stephon Diggs is making as an you want my reasoning? I mean, what the fuck?
Okay, like
the whole reason is you're choosing a player based on their abilities, based on what kind of. You do understand that the whole point of wide receivers is to make catches, right? Like that's their job.
Okay, Everett, but Michael Thomas makes fucking crazy that's like my point of my reaction to that is like Stephon Diggs making crazy catches. Yes, Michael Thomas can also make crazy catches. And you just looked at me like I'm stupid. Michael Thomas in his last full healthy season, the year when he, I don't know, set the fucking NFL record for catches in a season. I don't know, kind of impressive.
Who else is on that fucking team to take catches away from him?
Who was on the Saints that year? Alvin Kamara was the running back. Was the other receiver I don't know, but who's taking targets away from Stephon Diggs?
Gabriel Davis
broke onto the scene in the fucking playoffs last year, Everett.
Yes, also cool. Also,
Gabriel Davis hasn't even played this year.
Also Cole Beasley, who, by the way, was substantially targeted that year.
I'm just saying, like.
Okay.
The points that you give me, you haven't. I mean, if you're gonna like, the reason why I say Michael Thomas is fucking dominant is he put up fucking 1,700 yards, and his quarterback can only throw slants. Motherfucker had to pick up yak yards on his fucking own.
I understand that, but also if you throw him in
Michael Thomas, 149 catches, 91 first down catches. 91 fucking catches for first down. Motherfuckers averaging over 5 a game. Whatever. We could say what we want. We're obviously both biased here. There's obviously going to be no agreement. But in my opinion, the only reason why I was debating between Michael Thomas and Devontae is I just wonder if Michael Thomas, when he was fully healthy 4 years ago, if he had a quarterback who could throw the ball deep, maybe we'd see something different out of his route tree. But they literally couldn't fucking run deep plays to him. So there was no deep routes available for Michael Thomas because Drew couldn't get it there. So that limited his options quite a bit. But whatever. We can do what we want to do.
All right. I mean, that's all I got.
Yeah, I don't have much more. And I think we're at like an hour 10 now. So I think that's going to do it.
Unless you got a full NFL recap that you want to clip, I would say that would do it.
I'm going to re-record the college football recap and do the NFL tomorrow. I think it make it look better, but okay. That's all I got. Everett, why don't you break us down on our new ointment sponsor?
Yeah, so me and Grant decided that, with all the rashes we get, we really wanted to make something special just for us, for our skincare.
And fuck you, Aquaphor, fucking scumbags, not taking our offer, piece of shit. But yeah, go on, Everett.
They're missing out, man. Just calm down. It'll work out. I promise you.
Pissed me off the way they
fucking. But yeah, Water Boy, the Water Boy cream, water cream, boy cream. We're names pending.
You got it all wrong. It's actually called Cream Boy. You can bring your Cream Boy on the go. You could cream yourself up whenever necessary.
We did
yourself up.
Specially designed. It is specially designed to be used on airplanes, though.
It's very portable, and you get it through TSA. Not
actually TSA sponsored.
Yeah, actually, in terms of their ratios and everything, it's under the or within the approved range of viable lubricant or liquid you're allowed to bring on a plane. So yeah, we said,
we are trying to be the #1 plane podcast. So we're also trying to be the #1 plane ointment. So let's get them both trending. That way we can hand out boy cream on Delta, only on Delta exclusive.
Yeah, we're also going to be getting a brand deal with those cookies you get on Delta too. But yeah,
use your boy cream at the same time while you listen to
you eat those gingerbread cookie things that are fucking fire. I don't know what they're called, but you know what they are, Everett.
Biscoff.
You know what Biscoff. There it is. But okay, that's gonna do it, folks. Thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe. Rate us 5 stars. Download the video. Download the podcast. Rate us 5 stars. All the above. Everett, closing remarks.
Nope. Waterboy is out.